Well, thanks very much. It's Larry Page in Vancouver. I'd like to take the first couple of minutes and give you a bit of an overview of the company, and then Rob's going to talk to you about the Cerro Las Minitas property in Durango, Mexico, and tell you where we are and where we're going. And then we'll both be available for any discussion that may ensue. The Southern Silver Company is one of four companies which are managed by Mannix Resource Group in Vancouver. It's been in business for the last 25 years, and its function is to bring all of the expertise that the public companies require to go about their business. It's done on a cost-efficient basis to bring accountants, lawyers, IR people, everybody, geologists, everybody that's needed to advance the company. It works pretty well, and maybe a good analogy would be about 10 years ago, we had a company under administration called Western Silver, which was advancing a property in Zacatecas, Mexico. We advanced the property to the stage where it was taken over by, the company was taken over by Glamis Gold, which was taken over by Goldcorp, and the shareholders had a $1.2 billion payday. That's the way we operate. We like to advance the property to the stage where the company is attractive to be taken over, and the property is brought into production with the capex and opex being paid for by another company. So we're explorationists. I like to think that we're very good at what we do. We're not operators. And in the Southern Silver Company, we started about 10 years ago with the view to using the human resources and the infrastructure that we had in Mexico after Western Silver exited. And we did very well. We were able to use all of the infrastructure there to acquire a property in Durango. We bought it right. It cost $4 million US. We were able to attract some interest from Freeport-McMoRan, which put up $5 million to help us buy the property and to pay exploration costs. When Freeport left Mexico, we were looking around for somebody else with deeper pockets than ours. The Electrum Group out of New York came along, started investing in our company, ultimately did a joint venture whereby they would put up $5 million US to earn a 60% direct interest in the property. That's the way you had to do things in those days because it was very difficult to raise money. About $18 million later, with us contributing our 40% and Electrum contributing their money with us being operator, we arrived at the stage where we had a resource and we had plans to increase that resource. We wanted to go to a PEA study, all of the building blocks that companies need to advance a property. Electrum wanted to go slower than we wanted to go. We're a public company, they're a private company. They had other endeavors that they were pursuing. So we struck a deal whereby we bought their 60% working interest in the property with the payment spread over time of $15 million. We now own the property 100%. We owe residual payments of $4 million in 6 months and another $4 million in 12 months, with half of that being paid in cash and half being paid in stock at a 20-day VWAP. So we're very happy. We have the property back. We have plans on increasing the resource and ultimately making the property and therefore the company very attractive. We have one other property in the company, which is a copper porphyry property in New Mexico. Rob can tell you a bit about that. But we've done everything we said we were going to do. We raised $14.5 million in the last couple of months. As I said, we paid the initial payment on the property. We're well funded. We have a residual about $9.25 million in the treasury. A drilling program that Rob will tell you about is funded. It's underway. And having said all that, perhaps I'll just exit stage left and Rob can come along and tell you about the property. Thanks for listening to me.
Hi there. Thanks very much, Larry, and thank you all for coming on and joining us in Oktoberfest to hear a bit more about the Southern Silver Company and our flagship project, Cerro Las Manitas. In the talk, I'd like to focus on the Cerro Las Manitas silver, lead, zinc project in Durango, Mexico. This is one of the largest, highest grade undeveloped silver projects in the world, with indicated and inferred resources totaling 272 million silver equivalent ounces. It's located in a well-established silver mining district in Durango, Mexico, and surrounded by major players and mining companies. We've completed a transformative value-creating transaction whereby we purchased Electrum's, our former partner, Electrum's 60% interest in the project. This has increased our attributable resources 150% and increased in the net asset value by 156%. We think this is a highly accretive transaction for the Southern shareholders, and now we're poised moving forward for the remainder of this year and into 2021 to continue increasing the value of the company and the project. We are currently drilling on the project now. We started in late September. We have a near-term resource growth target of taking the resource from what we have now at 24 million tons to over 30 million tons, and that would give us, and we're targeting somewhere in the vicinity of 350 million silver equivalent ounces to raise the resource level from 272 million ounces to 350 million silver equivalent ounces. Program is underway, and that since we've announced the transaction and completed the transaction, this has been very well received by the market, and we've seen a 188% increase in the share price since we announced the transaction. A little bit on the capital structure and our market profile. You can see the issued and outstanding and the enterprise value now up over 100 million Canadian. Since we announced the transaction, we've done very well in the market and essentially tripled our share price over the last 3.5-4 months. And again, you can see the rise in the share price of Southern Silver and compared to our peer group. We've done very well. We've been one of the top performing silver stocks in the market since we announced the transaction with Electrum. And so the transaction simplifies the ownership, gives us 100% control of a premier polymetallic deposit in Mexico. It enhances the market profile of the company, increases the market cap, and makes us a more attractive takeover target. In terms of how we compare to our peers, we're still undervalued, still trading at around a 60% discount to our peers. And so we believe, even with the gains that we've recently had over the last 3 months, that we still have quite a ways to go before we catch up with our peers, and there's still continued upside in the stock. Again, underscoring, we are one of the largest silver-based mineral deposits out there, or mineral assets out there. And of those large deposits, we are the highest grade. Again, review of the management team, experienced mine finders, history of success in Mexico, and a group of people that have been around and have been involved with the discovery, the delineation, and mining of upwards of 12 different mines throughout the world, including world-class deposits, including Peñasquito, San Nicolas in Mexico, Los Gatos in Mexico, San Cristobal in Bolivia, and others. So in terms of the actual project, we'll be focusing on Cerro Las Manitas. It's the flagship of the company. It sits within the Faja de Plata of north central Mexico. It's 100% owned. We spent just over $25 million on acquisition and exploration since acquiring the project in 2011. We've started our drilling now in September, and we have a new resource milestone of growing the resource to 350 million silver equivalent ounces. Zooming in a little bit more on Cerro Las Manitas, we're surrounded by major and world-class mines like the aforementioned Peñasquito, San Martin, the Villardena district, and Pitarrilla all surround us in the Faja de Plata. We're up to date with our exploration access agreements with the local ejido. We have our permits in place with the state authorities. We've completed 133 drill holes for just under 60,000 meters of drilling at a cash discovery cost of 9 cents an ounce silver equivalent, or translated into zinc equivalent, that's less than a penny a pound for zinc equivalent. In terms of the neighborhood, this is a mature exploration and mining district. We're surrounded by major players, surrounded by mining companies. We've got excellent access and excellent logistics through the project. We have highways running through the property. There's power lines, a rail line. Base of operations is the town of Guadalupe, Victoria, which sits about a 5-minute drive south of the area of the Cerro where the mineral resources are located. We're located just 70 kilometers to the northeast of the city of Durango, a city of 1 million people. There's an airport nearby, so we can get in and out of the property. We're surrounded by miners. Hecla Mining is on our east with their San Sebastian project. Fresnillo has a large exploration property on our northern boundary. Avino is mining at their gold and silver mine just 6 kilometers away from our to the northwest of our claims, and La Preciosa with core mining are located about 25 kilometers to the west. So again, it's a very mature mining district with major players, excellent access, and excellent logistics on the property. This is Cerro Las Manitas, the Hill of Many Mines. You can see the 4-lane autopista running right through the property. You have our access from the town of Guadalupe, Victoria. And what you have here is the Cerro. There's a central intrusion that sits in this recessive area here, a zone of alteration, a skarn and hornfeld zone that wraps around the zone of alteration. And you can see a number of roads and buildings and workings all around the central intrusion, and these are evidence of the artisanal miners that have been active on the property for decades. Once we acquired the property, we did some geophysics over the Cerro, identified a geophysical target off on the western slopes, drilled that. That became our blind and El Sol zones, and as we drilled deeper, we tagged into the the skarn front zone. That then projects up to surface up in this area. Geologically, we have a central intrusion with a zone of alteration around it, and evidence of the artisanal mining all around the intrusive neck. Mineralization that we've identified sits on the western side of the central intrusion on here, and that's outlined in red and highlighted in yellow. Schematic cross section has the intrusive neck, historic mining along the sides. We've identified the blind El Sol and Lost Victoria zones associated with a dike swarm off to the west of the central intrusion, and then in the skarn altered halo around the central intrusion, we've identified the skarn front zone, and this is the largest, thickest, and highest grade mineralization on the property. It's been our focus for the last 4 years, and we're continuing exploration both on this side, but more importantly on the eastern side of the project, which to date has no current mineral resources identified on the property. This is the mineral resource estimate, 23.9 million tons, just to highlight that we have the skarn front deposit. It accounts for 18 of the 24 million ton deposit, and again, a total resource of 272 million silver equivalent ounces. And so what we're doing and where we're going now, we've started exploration. These are the target areas. Lost Victorias extends to the southeast from our known zones of mineralization. We started drilling in here, and now we continue to drill on the south skarn zone and we'll soon now be drilling, moving up to the Mina La Bacona target. And so you'll note that there's a number of historical drill holes on this, on the eastern side of the Cerro. We do have high-grade mineralization in that area. And essentially what we're doing is step-out drilling to build on past success on the eastern side of the Cerro, and systematically building resources so that we can get our target of plus 30 million tons of mineralization and grading over 350 million silver equivalent ounces. You can see some of the targeting. So we've started drilling around some of the higher grade zones within the Skarn Front deposit. This is a hanging wall zone, the Bacona hanging wall target that we're going to be testing probably within the next couple of weeks, starting to test within the next couple of weeks. And then there's some deeper drilling in the Bacona target where we look to expand on some high grade mineralization identified in that deeper drilling. You can see some of the mineral or some of the intercepts, just to highlight some of the intercepts that we've had on the eastern side in the Skarn and Mina La Bacona targets. Again, you're seeing high-grade silver mineralization, some surprising gold mineralization, gold credits in those intercepts, as well as some robust base metal numbers, all totaling up into some very, very strong silver equivalent numbers. Again, metallurgical test work. We're continuing with that on our way to developing a PEA, which should be coming out in the first quarter of 2021. We've completed announced the metallurgical test work in January. We successfully separated saleable copper, lead, and zinc concentrates, excellent grades, excellent recoveries in all of those concentrates, and we've built that now into an NSR model, which we're doing the mine design on right now, and then that'll get built into a full mine plan and cash flow model that will be worked into a PEA, and again looking at the early part of 2021. We do have another project called the Oro Project. It's located in southern New Mexico, just 50 kilometers south of the town of Lordsburg. It's a large laramide porphyry system, big zone system with a porphyry target in the center, moving out into a replacement silver lead zinc replacement zone, and then out into a distal gold target. We've flown that property, identified a number of different targets, about 8 different holes totaling 5,000 meters of drilling. And at this point, we're looking for a partner to come in and do the heavy lifting on this while we continue our focus on the Cerro Las Manitas project. So in summary, just like to highlight, we've had a transformative value-creating transaction with the Electrum Group that makes this a very, very attractive entry point for investors. Again, compared to our peers, we're trading at around a 60% discount. Great time to get in. We have the actual asset. Cerro Las Manitas is one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped silver projects in the world, and we have a plan now to make it bigger. Near-term exploration target expected to grow the resource by 30%. We've started drilling. We're getting results, and we should have news flow through the fall and into the first quarter of 2021. Thank you very much for your time. Any questions?
Sorry, Rob, having some internet troubles on our end here. Missed the last part of what you were saying. Maybe you could just confirm for us when you expect to begin drilling.
Oh, we started drilling in September. And so we've completed probably the first couple of thousand of meters. Sixth hole. So we're in the process of drilling our fifth and sixth hole on the project. The initial focus was in the Skarn Front area. We then pulled in a second rig and we started on the Las Victorias area. We'll probably drill 2 holes there and then shift over to the eastern side of the again, bring that drill again over to the eastern side and test the hanging wall Bacona zone.
Okay, excellent. That's our time, Rob. Thanks very much, and apologies for the technical glitches.
Okay, thank you very much, Jacob. Good to see you again, and thank you all for joining us in this presentation.